You guys, I found Julius's lookalike. Somebody on Reddit said that Julius blinks like a Furby, and now I can't unsee it. That's all I see when I look at Julius. Next time Julius goes live, somebody needs to ask him that question. That's the one question I want to know. Like, what is always going on with his eyes? I think it's like a little fluttering move he tries to do to make himself seem like mysterious and try to look sexy. But it just comes across as he has Tourette's or he's struggling to keep his eyes open. Now let's talk about Alexis and Julius in this last episode. So they were sitting there playing Connect 4 when Julius admitted that he indeed went and saw another girl and he's been talking to another girl. As soon as Alexis heard that, she stormed outside. She went to her car. She was bawling her eyes out. And I guess Julius's legs must still hurt because he didn't even get up and try to chase after her, which just tells me he really doesn't care about her as much as he leads on, because every single time like she talks to him, he doesn't seem engaged. He doesn't seem interested. Then when she ran off and was crying, he didn't seem to give a damn. He's just sitting there staring at the wall like, oh, she must be really upset. Like, if I know someone is upset and I care about that person, I'm going to do whatever I can to try to fix the situation and make them be in a better mood. And finally, after Alexis cried to herself in the car, she comes back inside and she's like, okay, well, you told me you hung out with a girl. Now I want to know all the details. So Julius was like, yeah, so I was talking to this girl. And he really wasn't being forthcoming. Like, I feel like Alexis let him off way too easy. I will give it to him. He was finally honest with her, but that's only after she had to pick in pride. If she never sat down and asked him about it, then I don't think he would have ever told her. And then when she did say she wanted to know what happened, he still wasn't really trying to be forthcoming. He's like, yeah, I mean, it's just for entertainment. And she's like, well, did you guys do anything? Like, she just kept having to push for him to answer the questions to try to give her some kind of peace of mind. He's like, it's just for entertainment. I just went and saw her. I told her I wasn't interested in her. And it's nothing. And she's like, well, obviously it's not nothing because you had this going on all the way up to here. Which was a valid point, and even Julius didn't know what to say. He's like, yeah, you're right. And he just got all quiet. And like I said, I feel like Alexis is just being way too easy on him. She's like, so you didn't have sex with him? He's like, no, we didn't kiss. I didn't touch her, nothing. She's like, okay. Alexis was like, well, I'm going to have to really sit and think on this. I don't know what I'm going to do. And Julius was just like, okay. He knew her ass wasn't about to go anywhere. And then they finally went back to Alexis's apartment and they sit down and Alexis was like, you know what? I don't really trust you right now. And the only way I can have a peace of mind is if you give me your location. And Julius was like, what? That was the first time I think I've seen him look away from his phone this whole episode. And he looked at Alexis like, girl, are you crazy? And she's like, well, this shouldn't be any big deal if you're not doing anything you're supposed to do. And I agree. I mean, it's a way for her to know that he's safe, and it's a way that she can make sure he's not cheating. But if you honestly have to be in a relationship to where the only time you can trust that person is by keeping tabs on them 24/7, then I don't think that's just a healthy relationship to be in at all. Like I said, I would have wanted to know all the details about Julius going to see Ashley. I would have been like, okay, why did you have to see her in person? I would have had follow-up questions like, why couldn't you have done this in a text? And out of all places, why did you have to go to a hotel room to tell her? Like, if you really wasn't trying to make it be anything more, then you could have just met her like at a park, met her at a restaurant. But you know what goes down in hotel rooms. Alexis is just acting way too naive. But she's like, okay, I'll let you think about giving me your location. You can't make this up. Then Julius knew he was in the doghouse, and I think he wanted to try to get her mind off this whole idea of getting his location. So he's like, come on, baby, come lay with me. And that kind of seems like the type Julius is. Like, as soon as somebody gets mad, he's going to try to lay it on thick with affection to try to distract from the real issue. And that's exactly what it seems like he did here. And Alexis was like, okay, baby. And they just lay down together. And someone said he's sitting here probably dreaming of cheating as he's holding her right here. But he's just sitting there with a little smirk on his face. He did finally get off his phone, though, long enough to hold her and have a few moments with her and distract her from everything. And I guess she's willing to give him another chance. She said that she wants to make sure there's no other women in the picture, and she finds out he's talking to another woman again. She said she's going to be done for good, but I don't know. I have a feeling it's only a matter of time before he's talking to another girl if he isn't already, because I just feel like he's not going to take Alexis serious as she's letting him slide so early on and not really giving him any pushback, letting him get away with it so easily, if he knows that he can just go see another girl in her hotel room and just admit it. I think he thinks, oh, I'll just admit it and everything's fine and peachy. But Alexis acts like she's not going to play anymore. But the way that Julius was even talking to her on the couch, he did not sound convincing. Hell, he sounded like he was trying to convince himself he wasn't going to talk to any more women. And he's just sitting there holding her. And we finally saw him stay off his phone for more than a couple minutes. And I guess they showed a clip for either the next episode or the episode after this. I'm sure they'll probably save it for the season finale, where Julius is like in a parking lot with some women, and Alexis pulls up and sees Julius with these girls, and he's just laughing in her face. And then she runs off in the car crying again, and again his legs must hurt because he just sits there laughing, doing his weird little blinks. She confronts him and she's like, so you're hanging out with other girls again? And I have a feeling, just the way Julius was acting, that this is just probably set up by production. I feel like after they had the scenes with Ashley and the little love triangle, I think they're going to try really hard to continue playing on that storyline and having other women come in the picture. But I just really wasn't believing this little parking lot scene they showed us. But I guess I'll have a better assessment when I actually see the full episode. But if she sticks around with Julius again, if this is legit, if he's in a parking lot hanging out with other women behind her back and she catches him and she still stays, then I don't think there's anything that Julius can do that will make Alexis stay. And the man's not even convincing with his lies. I just don't get it. Like, if I'm in my 30s, I could not imagine being with a man like that. Like, maybe in my younger 20s, when I was just going with people strictly based off looks. But once you're in your 30s, like, I don't know. I just know as a fellow woman in my 30s, I'm looking for a man that has stability, that has a job. And it just seems like Julius doesn't have that. Yes, he's getting paid from this show now, but it doesn't seem like he's working. I can't say 100% without a doubt that he's not working, but it seems like he's on TikTok Live battling every single day, always in Alexis's living room, and she's never anywhere around. She's probably gone at work while he's just sitting at home on live all day. I'm not saying that can't be a way of income, because I do see him making money from TikTok, from getting different, what do they call them, gifts or whatever while he's live on TikTok. But that's not going to be sustainable long term, especially with a daughter on the way. Like, he really is going to have to figure something out. And yes, he does his little rap career, but I just don't think that he's going to make it big time as a rapper. I think he needs to go learn him a trade, go get a CDL, but he needs to figure out something now, especially with the fact that they're going to have a baby anytime now, as she hasn't popped this baby out already, so he can get ready to take care of his daughter and give her a good life, because this money from the show is going to dry up eventually, and I'm sure they'll probably end up getting another season, but I mean, you just can't depend on this year round.